Hotel on the Corner of Bitter and Sweet. Chapter 21. Hello, hello. My parents made me stay home from school. They were afraid something might happen, that our family would be separated, she said. Henry watched as she brushed her long hair out of her face. He was surprised at how peaceful she looked, how calm. The police and FBI came and took our radios, cameras, and a few people from our building. But then they left. We haven't seen them since. I'm sorry. It was all he could think of. What else could he say? They came and arrested scores of people back in December, right after Pearl Harbor. But it's been quiet for months now. Too quiet, I guess. Papa said the Navy has given up worrying about an invasion, and now they're more concerned about sabotage, you know? People blowing up bridges and power plants and stuff like that. So they swept through and arrested more Japanese. Henry thought about the word sabotage. He'd sabotage Mr. Preston's plans to buy up part of Japantown. Didn't feel bad about it either. But weren't these people taken away American? Japanese by descent, but American born. After all, Keiko's father had been born here. There's even a curfew now. Curfew? Keiko nodded slowly, contemplating its effects as she looked around the barren streets. No Japanese are allowed outside of our neighborhood from 8 o'clock at night to 6 in the morning. We're prisoners at night. Henry shook his head, struggling to believe what she was saying, but knowing it must be true. From the arrest at the Black Elks Club to the victorious smile on his father's face, he knew it was really happening. He felt bad for Keiko and her family, for the wrongs done to everyone in Nihonmachi. Yet he was so selfishly grateful to be with her, feeling guilty at his own happiness. I cut class and went looking for you, he said. I was worried. She looked at him, a small smile turning into a crooked grin. He felt nervous, stumbling over his words. I was worried about school, Henry said. It's important we don't fall behind, especially since the teachers don't pay attention to us very much anyway. There was silence for a moment. Then they both heard the swing shift horn, blaring all the way from Boeing Field. Thousands of workers would be going home. Thousands more would be starting their day at 10 o'clock at night, making airplanes to fight in the war. It's nice of you to care so much about my schooling, Henry. He could see the disappointment in her eyes, the same look she'd had when they departed last night, after the arrest at the Black Elks Club. I wasn't just worried about school, he admitted. It's more than that. I was worried about... It's okay, Henry. I don't mean to get you in trouble, either at school or at home with your father. I'm not worried about my troubles. She looked at him and took a deep breath. Good, 'cause I need a favor, Henry. A big favor. Keiko got up, and Henry followed her down the hill a bit. Behind a bench, where a red radio flyer wagon was partially hidden. In the back were stacks of photo albums and a box of prints. These belong to my family. My mother told me to take them to the alley and burn them. She couldn't bring herself to do it. Her father was in the Japanese Navy. She wanted me to burn all her old photos from Japan. Keiko looked at Henry with sad eyes. I can't do it, Henry. I was hoping you might hide them for us. Just for a while. Can you do that for me? Henry remembered the horrible scene in Japantown that afternoon. The photographer from the Ochi studio, visibly shaken but determined. I can hide them in my room. Do you have more? This is the important stuff. My mom's keepsakes. Family memories. The stuff we have from my baby years is okay for us to keep, I think. And some families in our neighborhood are trying to find someplace else to store things. Bigger things. We'll probably put other stuff there if we have to. I'll keep this safe, I promise. Keiko hugged Henry for a brief moment. He found himself hugging her back. His hand touched her hair. She was warmer than Henry had imagined. I need to get back before they know I'm gone, Keiko said. I guess I'll see you in school tomorrow? Henry nodded, taking the handle of the little red wagon, headed for home, down the darkened, empty streets of Japantown, pulling behind him a lifetime of memories. Memories that he'd hide, and a secret he would keep somewhere back home.